This is Crew Talk, the podcast of Bombers CrossFit, where we build healthy humans. We're talking strength, discipline, mindset, community, real training, real nutrition, real results. If you're ready to level up inside and outside the gym, you're in the right place. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of Crew Talk, the official podcast for Bombers CrossFit, where we build healthy humans. So quick question. What if the hardest part of fitness isn't getting started, but starting over? And not the first time, but the next time. So, sometimes you feel like you're lost. Sometimes coming in feels harder than ever. So today's episode is for someone who's fallen off and is trying to come back. Because while starting over is hard, staying stuck is even worse. So let's get to it. All right, Amy, hey, thanks for joining us. If you could introduce yourself, give us a little bit of your background, where you grew up, that kind of thing.
Amy. I grew up in El Paso, Texas, moved out here about 20-ish years ago.
Really? Wow, okay. And you grew up the whole time in El Paso?
No, Army brat.
Okay.
Out in Germany, other places, but for the most part,
yeah.
Out in Texas.
So, your dad was in the Army, or?
Yeah, my dad was in the Army.
Okay. What did he do?
Air defense artillery.
Oh, okay. All right. And do you have any brothers and sisters, or?
Yeah, I got a brother out in Arizona.
Okay. All right. And what does he do now?
Pharmacy technician.
Okay. Pharmacy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So growing up in El Paso, well, let me ask you, were you older? Are you older or younger?
Younger.
Okay. All right. So did he pick on you a lot when you were little, or?
Sure. Normal.
Yeah, normal brother stuff. How much older is he?
6 years.
6 years. Oh, okay. All right. Well, hopefully he wasn't too mean to you then.
Nah.
Yeah. And so, and then is there a base in El Paso?
Yeah, Fort Bliss.
Fort Bliss.
Fort Bliss.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was in the Army Reserve when I first started, and it was a armored unit, and our headquarters was Fort Bliss. I never ended up going there, but I never heard any good things about it. So they were always like, well, anytime you go out to the tank, you gotta open all the vents to make sure that there's no rattlesnakes in it,
Well, yeah.
Did you do the typical things growing up, like sports and stuff like that, or did you?
No, nerd.
Nerd, okay.
Academics.
Yeah. So what was your favorite thing growing up, going to school and like that?
Art.
Okay.
I did like to draw and paint and things, so that kind of stuff. But I also liked math and science.
Yeah.
Animals.
Okay. Did you go to college there too, or?
Yeah. Well, New Mexico State University. Which
okay.
Is a 45-minute drive away. The border's pretty close there.
I see. And what did you major in?
Computer science.
Computer science. All right. So what drew you to that? I mean.
I liked math and science. Several people had said I should do engineering. Mm-hmm. I didn't really understand what all the various engineering things were in the catalog, but I always liked computers and things, and so computer science seemed interesting. I'm not sure I knew what it was at the time, honestly. Yeah. But it worked out.
Yeah. So New Mexico State, how did you get hooked up with the Air Force?
Recruiters came out near my graduation looking for folks that had STEM degrees and things.
Mm-hmm. And did you take like an internship, or did you just apply for a job, or?
Applied for a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had internships prior to that with Intel, like the chip manufacturing company, and America Online, back when that was a thing.
AOL, yeah. Yeah.
At least one of those companies still exists.
And how was that experience in corporate life? I mean, was it?
It was different. I learned a lot and whatnot. Got to program some cool things, and but I was always drawn to I mean, growing up with a military family,
Sure.
service and whatnot, and being paid to do something that matters versus making somebody more money. It was more interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. And so you took a job and moved to Wright Pat? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the first thing you were working on?
Just various computer algorithms and things, looking at different systems and putting stuff together.
Okay, all right. Because I don't want to ask you anything that's sensitive or anything like that.
No.
Yeah. But give us an idea. What kind of what is interesting about your job, or what is it? Is it challenging every day? Is it every day there's something like you're trying to crack open, or?
I mean, it's different every day. There's different problem sets to look at. Always new things to learn. I like that. I mean, there's a lot of different military systems to learn about and how they work and whatnot, and helping develop new people coming on board and teaching them, and just being able to help defend the country and whatnot. And I think it's good.
Yeah, it's good to know that there's some sort of meaning to what you're doing. That you feel like you're really making a difference in something. I think that's easier in some jobs that are like closer to the point of the spear, so to speak.
Sure.
Yeah, I was in public affairs, so I wrote stories. It's hard to kind of relate that to defending the nation, but yeah, but it's still, it's a good thing to do. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody plays a part. I mean, the public understanding what the heck we're doing and why we're doing it and why they're paying their taxes is also important.
Yeah. And so you've worked here now 20 years?
Just about. 2 October would be my 20-year point.
Wow. Okay. And have you thought about moving around to other places or something, or you're like, you moved to Ohio and you're like, that's it, I like this?
I'm a very if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of person. I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't move for the right opportunity or something, but I mean, I like it here.
Yeah. And your parents, do they still live in El Paso, or? Okay. Do you go back and see them every so often? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the weather like in El Paso? It's got to be
hot
all the time.
Sunny. You have wind and dirt season. It's a good season. Then you have monsoons. You get all the rain within about a couple of week period.
Okay.
That's your rain for the year.
Yeah, that's how I lived in Altus, Oklahoma for a while, and yeah, there was like one period where all the rain came at once, flooded everything, and then it went away again, and then it was just dry. So, yeah. So just, I remember I was working the main gate at Altus one time, and it just rained and rained and rained, and all the irrigation ditches flooded, and I was standing at the main gate with water up to my waist, honestly, because I had to pull it up because I didn't want my weapon to get wet. Okay, and I'm standing there in waist deep water, and I'm thinking to myself, why am I still here waving traffic when it's not unless a boat comes, there's nothing coming,
Yes.
And so I would call back up to the desk and say, hey, do you want me to come back or something? They're like, no, just stay there.
What if that was about the same time? Because shortly before I left, we had a really bad monsoon. I mean, the monsoons were always there, but we had some 100-year cycle monsoon where we got 2 feet of rain within a 48-hour period or something. It was just insane. And the city really isn't built for that. So the water has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And usually the way you take care of the water in deserts is you build the roads so that the water drains away into the desert and goes into the water table. But that much water, it just isn't going to go anywhere. And so it was flooding everything out and destroying everything. And up to then we're like, please rain, and no, stop.
Yeah, the little town where we lived, there was a bridge that went over the river, and it fell. It broke in half and fell, and so with that bridge out, the only way to get to the base was 40 miles around, because there's just not roads out there,
Sure.
And so they had the bridge fixed in 2 days. they just took the old piece of the bridge and they just pushed it back up and said, there you go.
Done.
It's good. Go ahead and drive on it.
So, you don't need engineers to look at that or anything. It's fine.
Yeah. I always thought, there's a couple of 2x4s and some duct tape underneath this thing, and that's all that's holding it up. But
peachy.
Yeah. So let's talk about. So you said you didn't do a lot of athletics when you were a kid.
No.
And so then you move in as a young adult. What happened? I mean, did you stay active or?
I had started losing weight late in college and started keeping that up once I got out here. And then eventually I got to the point where I'm like, well, if I'm going to keep weight off, I need to find some kind of activity or something. And so I started trying different things. And I think I started with the normal, like, girly things, the step aerobics, the yoga, just go to the gym and rotate around the machines. And I think each one of those things I'd stick to for maybe 3 months or so, 2-3 months. So I'm like, this is boring. And I'd stop, and then I wouldn't do it anymore. Until somebody at the base was talking to me about CrossFit. And I'm like, well, that sounds interesting. I haven't tried that yet. They're like, there's barbells involved, but, someone will teach you how to use those.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. I've always been told that I'm not supposed to touch those. And so nobody would ever show me how to touch those because I'm not supposed to.
Right.
But if somebody will, that sounds neat. I like that. Okay, I'll go try that. I ended up at Right Pack CrossFit, I don't know, several years after moving out here. It wasn't too far.
Yeah. And what did do you remember your first workout, or I know it's going back, but.
Oh Lord, no. I kind of sort of remember going to the on-ramping thing that they had at the time and being super confused at the movements because they were trying to teach like a wall ball clean and some basic things. Right. And I'm like, I've never moved. I'm like, move. And they're like, okay, where to start with you? I'm like, I don't know. But it's fine.
Yeah.
I got there eventually.
I remember, wall ball, med ball cleans I like now, but I remember the first time I saw that, and then I was like, I have no idea how you did that.
What are you telling me to do? I don't even know what a clean is. I don't know what the wall ball is. I don't know what you're asking me to do with these stitches, keeping them forward.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Here, you have to.
So I would do one, and I'd say, "Is that it?" And he was like, "No, that was not it. No."
Yes.
No. I was like, "Well, what do I need to do?" "Well, you need to do this." It's like, okay.
And then a miracle happens. And the thing happens, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It was like the first time I did a snatch,
Yes, that is very much a miracle happens in the movement.
Yeah, I remember doing a snatch and the guy looked at me like, it was like his eyes were really big and he's like, yeah.
Well, that builds confidence.
But yeah, that was. So what did you think about it though? I mean, when you started doing it.
I mean, I clearly enjoyed it since I kept doing it. Right. But I liked that there was so many different movements and new things to learn. To me, it was all new because I hadn't really done anything before. So all the different things to learn were new. And I'm like, I like doing the strength training and stuff and learning all this stuff. And then I liked the community. It was just different. And to me, PE and whatnot, I'd always gotten made fun of and whatnot. And so it's like, people are actually going to be supportive even though I suck. Oh, that's different. I like that, not knowing that that's largely just, now we're all adults and we're not idiot kids to each other. But still.
That is great though, isn't it? I mean, I struggle with coordination, and so complex movements are difficult for me to get used to. And so, And so I wouldn't try things for that reason, and I found in CrossFit that even though I was really bad at it, that people were trying to help me,
Yeah, and that was so, I don't know, revolutionary to my brain that I'm like, okay, well, this is nice. They're trying to help me anyway. And I think for the longest time I thought, well, they're going to try to help me until it becomes clear that I'm kind of helpless and I'm not going to suddenly excel, and then they'll give up on me and they'll ignore me. And that never happened. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. That's kind of the great thing about it. I mean, it's the community of it, that which is something that I've always enjoyed, and then also the variety, like you were saying before, about going around to things and it just kind of gets boring after a while,
Right.
And it seemed like with CrossFit it was like always something different, and every day was a different thing, typically things that I wasn't good at, and so it was always new challenges all the time. It just didn't get boring for that,
Right, and so, I mean, at least early on, it always felt like you got something new fairly frequently. I mean, it might be something unexpected or different, where you're like, okay, you get a new PR, or you figure out a new movement, or something new would happen. Be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. I remember the day I back squatted more weight than one of the coaches, and I thought, wow, this is really pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just felt good about that,
Sure.
Yeah. My big thing was, I remember jump rope was always, I still struggle to this day with double unders, but, for 2 years when I was at CrossFit Right Pat, I couldn't do single unders. I mean, I couldn't do a single under, not at all, not any. Okay. And all the different coaches would try to work with me about it, and they would come in and they would tell me, okay, we'll do this and keep your hands here. And then after like 20 minutes of me like failing to get any, they would say, well, just keep working on that.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, they were right. I mean, what it finally came to was I just had to kind of keep practicing, and
Sure.
And one day it did kind of click, and I got like 1, and then I got 2, and
yes,
and then I will say the one thing that made a big difference was I got 1 rope. It was a standard length rope, because when you're using like the house ropes or whatever,
they're all over the place, and
and so that really kind of tripped things up, but.
Yeah, the feedback loop is wonky then.
Yeah. I remember, so do you remember, I remember the Amy Smash thing. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was one of my favorite things. I don't know if I saw it first on Facebook or what it was, or if you were getting ready to do a deadlift or something and you were like, Amy Smash.
I don't know, but Bill kept repeating that, I think. That was Bill.
Okay, all right.
I think that was because, yes, he would comment on my Facebook stuff all the time. It was like, Amy Smash. Well, I don't not like that, so.
Yeah, I thought
don't know where that originally came from.
So, but then you eventually got more into the Olympic lifting, right? I mean, you actually did some competitions and stuff with Olympic lifting, or?
After I transferred over to AKP CrossFit, I was there for several years, and after a while I was like, I should try new things. The weightlifting sounds interesting. Maybe I can try that.
Yeah.
Coordination, timing. I was never exactly really great at it, but I mean, weightlifting is a sport that if you're not good at it, it doesn't affect the rest of your team. You can still continue to work on it. It's okay. And so, yes, I can go to open comps and things and have a good time and try my best. And, I did get better at it, but,
Now, having said that, it takes a lot of courage, because when you step up on a platform, you're the only one up there.
Right. It is different, but I mean, I brief for work, there's a certain level of used to having people stare at you,
Yeah, I think I love the Olympic lifts. I'm not very good at them, but like I say all the time with a snatch, if you do a snatch well, nothing feels better.
Oh yeah. Every once in a while, it feels just a little bit more right than normal, and you're like, oh, what did I do? Something was more right there. It felt fluid and nice.
Yeah, it's like a unicorn.
Yes. Did anybody get a video of that so I can see what the hell I did?
Yeah.
It probably looks horrible still, but it hopefully looks slightly less horrible than normal.
That's where I'm at this stage. Is I don't really care how much weight's on the bar if it went well. You know, like even a like a split jerk or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
When you really lock it out and you're like, oh yeah,
that felt good. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's fun. Because I mean, they're such odd movements and complex movements. Yes, they're functional. Well, clean and jerk is functional. I'm not convinced a snatch is functional at all. Are we putting a canoe on the car? What are we doing? I know. But it always looks so cool when somebody does it right.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's what that's supposed to look like.
So Olympic lifts are like your favorite things, you think, or?
I like deadlifts, so I do like some of the raw strength. Deadlifts are just fun because, well, you get to use the really big weights and things. And it just feels powerful. But a lot of the strength training movements are kind of my favorite.
Yeah. What about like gymnastics and running and things like that?
Yeah. I will do them.
Yes. Those are the things I have to do in order to do the things I like to do.
Yes, I'm told they're good for me, and yes, they are. But
yeah, that was the workout yesterday. I love doing like low reps of heavy squat cleans. Okay, and so like yesterday it was like 5 squat cleans, and it was chest to bar pull-ups, and I really like chest to bar pull-ups. Okay, and so I really wanted to do those movements. Okay, but the price was I had to do devil's press in order to be able to do those other things.
Womp,
so it's like, there's trade-offs in life, right?
Sure, and there are a lot of workouts that are like that. You're like, well, at least I like that component. I will look forward to that component while begrudgingly doing the other components.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while you'll get a workout that's in your wheelhouse, and you're like, yay, I like all the things. But
I don't know. Those don't come along very often.
They'd say it was all the time.
Yeah. I'm happy when I've got like one thing that's in my wheelhouse, And I feel like, well, I pushed pretty hard on that, The rest of it, not so much, But typically the running part of it for me is like that, I'm just not. I don't know. I don't really enjoy running, so I'm trying to get better at it. But
Sure.
Yeah. But it sucks. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think I like steady state cardio. I'm just like, why am I still doing this? I should be moving on to a different thing now.
Yes. If something chasing me,
yes. Where's the bear?
Yeah. Let's see. So you stuck with CrossFit. So how long have you been doing CrossFit now? It's a long time.
I was thinking about that. Maybe 15 years? It probably close to that.
Yeah.
A long time.
Okay. Because I mean, it was CrossFit where I pat was like 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't think I was right at the beginning, but pretty darn close, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was there the first workout they did Fight Gone Bad, and I had escorted the media.
What was your first workout?
Well, I escorted the media to see it, and so that was the first time I saw CrossFit. I even heard of it. Okay, I didn't know what it was, and so and I watched these guys doing Fight Gone Bad, and they were all like young, fit guys, and it seemed like they were really struggling with it, And I thought, that doesn't look that hard. I don't understand what the big deal is, Yeah. I did it a few months later, and then I understood well what the big deal was. So, but yeah, that was like early in 2010. So, so it's funny you say that you tried a lot of things and you'd stick with it for like 3 months or something, and then you found this thing. 15 years later, you're still kind of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, which isn't necessarily the most typical for me, so
yeah. So how so you mentioned that you were at AKP for a while, and I know and then that went away and you had to find a new place, and that's not an easy thing to do.
No, that wasn't fun.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we're happy to have you here at Bombers.
Yes.
So, but it does become kind of like a tribe, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know for me, when I first started at the base, we had a great group of people there, and then the gym shut down for a while when services took back over, and so for like 2 months or something, they stopped the classes, and I was like in withdrawals for a while,
Well, yeah. And I don't know, there were just issues around how we were running the classes and whatnot. And yeah, services was like, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, eventually I'm like, oh, this is hard. There, go someplace else.
Yeah. Well, I showed up one day and they said, oh, you can't come in here anymore. And I was like, why not?
It's a gym.
Yeah. And they said, this gym's no longer for retirees.
What?
Yeah.
What
and I was
base gym isn't open to retirees?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
But so they told me, no, you can't come here anymore. And so they wouldn't let me in. Honestly, So I was like, all right.
You need to go get some young people clothing and...
No, it would take more. Yeah. I don't know. So have you stayed steady with it all throughout this time, or?
Pretty much. I mean, obviously, life happens, and the level of participation would ebb and wane. But yeah, pretty much.
Okay, all right. And you've been as far as like classes, pretty steady as far as the number of classes you make and stuff like that, or?
I mean, like I said, life happens, and so particular parts of my life there was just too much going on, or depressive anxiety issues, and would drop my level at the gym. I mean, I know there was some points where I was only coming in maybe once a week or something, mm-hmm. which wasn't great, but it was what was happening.
Right.
And, and eventually things got better, and, I started coming more again. But, I mean, it was, always there, and so I could always just go back to it once things were better. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. The physical aspect of our health plays into a lot of other aspects. I mean, emotional and just mental health and the whole 9 yards. I think it's
gym therapy is certainly a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I was still working, there were times when you'd have a bad day or something, and it would be like good to just come in and just blow the doors off, and
mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah. I know my husband certainly appreciates that. I almost use the gym as a buffer between work life and home life. I come here before going home. I'm usually in a better mood when I come home. And but yeah, I mean, after AKP closed, obviously I didn't go immediately to another gym and come here. I think it was maybe a month in or 2 months in. He's like, yeah, you need to go find someplace else to go.
Yeah.
You are not in a good place. You need to go find another CrossFit gym. I'm like, yes, I know.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. I mean, I like I said, I found that when the first initial group of people at Right Pat left, because they were all military, and so many of those guys had gone, and like some of my favorite coaches, the people who had helped me so much, I mean, that was actually what got me into coaching at that time, was because everyone was PCSing out, and it was like, well, I'm not leaving anytime soon, so
I can fill the void. Yeah.
So
I can contribute.
I want to try and help, because I was so appreciative of what they had done for me, that I wanted to keep giving that on to other people,
Mm-hmm.
So another reason I was so pissed off when they kicked me out of the gym later on, I was like, wait a minute,
I helped build this. What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So your husband told you go find a place?
Yeah, pretty much. It was already in the back of my head, but I just hadn't gotten there yet.
Now he's never done CrossFit, or?
I've tried to take him a few times, but it's just not his thing. He's not particularly interested. He sees the value in it and whatnot, but but he likes to go for his walks and hikes and things, and he likes to do other things. But yeah, I don't think he's into this. This isn't his thing.
Yeah, my wife is a yoga instructor, but she does a lot of yoga and stuff like that, and she loves it, and that's her thing. She doesn't really like CrossFit that much, and so that's cool, and so she was working for a while, and then she quit working at the Fairborn Y, and so for a month or two she just kind of like didn't have anywhere to go, and it was kind of like the same situation like with you. I was like, yeah, you need to find a place, because you're just sad, it's like, yeah. And so, so she started going to Kettering Rec, and she's really happy about that. But,
yay.
Yeah. It's important, and I mean, I think if you're like me, a couple that, we have our own thing that we do, it's good that you're supportive of the other person doing what it is that makes them happy,
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have your own things, as long as you also have together things, and then you have something to talk about. Otherwise, yeah.
Right. So, what do you think? How is your CrossFit journey now? As far as like, are you still chasing PRs, or what kind of motivates you?
Kind of rebuilding. I lost a fair bit of strength, at a time period where I just wasn't coming to the gym. In a depressive state, I wasn't eating as much, and so I lost a bunch of weight while not working out, which meant I lost muscle mass. And when you're older, that's harder to deal with and build back. And so it's like, all right. So I'd since gained weight and without necessarily putting back much of the strength, and so trying to balance that back out of slowly drop off body fat, not good weight, and build back up strength and whatnot. Now, whether or not I can get back to previous numbers, I think my actual PRs and highs were from 2018-ish time period. That was quite a while ago. But still, I think I can be better than where I'm at now. And, so new me PRs?
New me PRs, yeah. It's, you got to give yourself a little bit of grace in situations like that, especially when you're kind of coming back. It's the similar sort of thing if you have an injury that sets you back a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is like that. Fortunately, I've never really had any injuries doing CrossFit for minor little things, but nothing that requires surgery or large levels of downtime, or which I always find kind of funny, because at least early on, I don't hear it so much anymore. People are like, "Oh, CrossFit, that crazy thing, it's super dangerous," and these are all normal movements that were cobbled together from all sorts of other sports. They didn't invent anything other than community and a time domain around it. Yeah. I'm not sure why it would be any more dangerous than anything else, unless you're just being stupid, which, you can do that with any sport.
Doing nothing is dangerous. If you want to talk about danger, that's the danger,
Sure, and that'll slowly creep up on you, I suppose the thought of, well, if I move wrong or do something odd, I can injure myself in that moment, and that can scare people, but I don't know, the slow creep of time slowly injuring you is also scary.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We're all on a glide path, right? Yeah. I saw my doctor. He wasn't a very good doctor, I think. And he was talking about, we need to manage your health, put you on a good glide path. And he mentioned glide path 4 or 5 times. And I was like, glide path? So what? The plane is landing? Do we have to keep talking about this? Can we just talk about the plane flying,
Yes, yes, it sounds like a controlled crash.
Why do we focus on the glide path? So. Because we know where that ends, right? You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I don't think you're a very good doctor, you know? That's the thing about medical
bedside
doctors.
manner is a little off. Yeah, and I mean, medically it makes sense. Eventually the ground is coming for us all, but still.
That's right, that's right. Oh, man. Yeah. But I think, staying motivated in times like that when you're trying to gain yourself back, I think it's tough.
Sure.
Yeah. I know for me, sometimes just trying to get within 10% of a PR is a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you go with recent PRs, or you're like, well, it's stepped up. Oh, well, I was 75% of 2018 me, and now I'm 80% of 2018 me. Yay!
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's in there somewhere.
So, have you noticed any difference as far as your mindset? I mean, and kind of coming back in this time and.
Sure. I mean, obviously, the switch to bombers at first was hard, just simply because it's different. There's nothing wrong or bad, just different, and different and new people. But I was happy to see that. I'm like, oh, hey, the people I knew from CrossFit Right Pat are here. I didn't know they were here. That's cool. So I at least know some people. So that was nice. But yeah, it just took a while to get used to it, and okay, I've got a new routine. I'm driving to a new place. And I think for a while my brain was just like, well, I'm still going to be mad because I'm just mad because, I don't like the way things turned out. So I'm going to be mad. I mean, it's no one's fault, but I don't know, the 7 levels of grief, anger, whatever it is, I just was going to be mad for a while. And eventually that eased off as I came enough that I saw the same people over and over again and made new friendships and new community. And I'm like, okay, things are run a little bit different here, like they are. And every gym is just a little bit different. I visit a lot of CrossFit gyms when I'm TDY across the country and whatnot. Everywhere is just a little bit different, but it's still good and fun. And eventually my brain accepted that and was like, yay, new community, new thing, this is good, It just takes time.
Yeah, that is interesting. It's one of the things I've always kind of liked about CrossFit. It's not like a franchise model where you go in from one place to the other and the classes are exactly the same and everybody wears like the corporate polo shirt and stuff,
I mean, I can see the appeal to that because then you know what the workout is going to be, where you are in the cycle, regardless of where you go. But at the same time, there's a flexibility to it that everywhere is going to have a slightly different clientele they're going for or a different feel. And so each gym can choose for themselves what it is exactly they want to be within the CrossFit model. Because there's a lot of flexibility there.
Yeah, I think when I came over, I came over from CrossFit Right Pat because Jeff Day, Jeff Day started coming to Bombers, and he would post it on Facebook, and so I was like, hey, there's a new place. And so after they kicked me out, I started coming here, and the programming was pretty similar. I mean, because CrossFit Right Pat, they basically just used the programming right off of .com,
Right.
And so that's essentially what Bombers was doing, this kind of the same thing. So the classes were really pretty similar, and
pretty good transition.
yeah, so it was pretty easy to make the transition to it. So, but yeah, but it was still. I mean, it was new and it was different, and I don't react well to change like that.
Yes.
I don't like when people move my cheese, and
Yes, I like knowing where my big rocks are, and I want them to stay put. And
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, I even get like, there was a time where I used to be an afternoon person all the time. Okay, and then my job changed. I got a new boss, and she was of the opinion that if you left work at 4:30 when you actually stopped getting paid, that you were a slacker. Okay, and so I had to transition. I had to move to like starting to come in the mornings because they didn't, that was the only time I could kind of get there,
Oh, goodness.
And that was tough for a while,
Sure.
But then once I made the adjustment, it was like, all right, Because when I used to work out at Right Pat, I always worked out in the mornings there, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it's change is just one of those things, you know. So what do you? So having made that change or having made that transition, what do you say to people who find themselves in that same position? You know, where it's like, you know, I've got to push through this, but I don't really want to.
I mean, you know, there's not a lot of risk, so you might as well go and try. I mean, and recognizing that, yeah, you're probably not going to be happy regardless at first, and it's like, okay, you have to give it a chance, you know, so you can't just go once, because you know you're going to be mad the first time, and, you know, everybody's like, they do it different, therefore it's wrong. No, you know, I don't know all these people. You know, okay, you have to give it some time. You know, I mean, when I first went to AKP, I was upset then too. You know, because I'm like, this isn't like CrossFit Right Pat, and you know, I'm not sure about this. This is different. You know. It's just, I don't like change. You know? So just accepting that, okay, you know, in the long term, it's probably going to be worth the headache of going through the unhappiness for the short term of, okay, you're probably going to be fine if you do this enough times and settle down. You kind of just have to push through it, I guess. Yeah. You know, now, I mean, obviously you still listen to your gut if you're going someplace and you're like, okay, this really is really wrong, or something is very off, that's different. But if it's just mad that it's different, that's...
Yeah. Because ultimately you got to look at the long term. I mean, you're talking about your health. Right. And that's really the priority.
You know, I mean... I toyed with the idea of, well, I've done CrossFit for this many years. Maybe I should go try something completely different, you know, but I never quite settled on, well, what is that? And that seemed like effort, and I was like, Yeah. I know this has worked for quite a long time, and I'm sure it'll work someplace else too.
Yeah, I was talking to a doctor recently, and he was like, well, maybe you should pick up golf or tennis or something. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play a sport or something, you know? I mean, that's just not, I don't know, it's just not, it doesn't appeal to me, you know? I know some people love that stuff. That's great, but I mean, I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, I know several people that play tennis in their retirement, and they really enjoy that, and that's great. Golf, you know, anybody that I've known that plays golf, they never seem happy about it.
I know Byron loves it, you know. I always think back, Mark Twain said that golf was a walk ruined. And so,
that sounds about right.
That does sound about
just
right.
Go for a hike.
Yeah. Not to mention, I went to play Top Golf with my sons recently, and hitting that ball is a lot harder than you might think, you know. So, yeah, for my lack of coordination, that would not be good. But no, yeah, it's like, no, I want to do this, you know. I mean, this is what I like. So yeah. But well, Amy, I mean, that's all I can think of to ask you about. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that I should have, or?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm glad you made the transition over from CrossFit Right, or from AKP. Well, from CrossFit Right Pat to AKP, and then eventually to Bombers. So we're glad to have you in the crew.
Awesome, thank you.
And thanks for coming and sharing your story on Crew Talk.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode of Crew Talk. If you got value, share it with your crew. Want to train with us? Head over to bomberscrossfit.com and come see what we're building. Stronger every day, better every rep. We'll see you in the gym.